it's Tori, and I'm here right now with Creeper. How are you guys doing?
All right.
Yeah, good.
Very excited for our first official interview because I feel like I've known you guys for so long and we just haven't gotten around to it. So you're in Tampa tonight on tour with Neck Deep. How's that going so far? About a weekend, yeah?
Yeah, pretty good.
The shows have been really good.
Yeah, the shows have been
It's been really fun.
Yeah, we've toured with Neck Deep before in the UK and Europe. Yeah, so it's nice to come out to here with them. Yeah,
absolutely. So we're going to start with a few fun finish acceptance questions. So the first one is, the best part of touring in the States is?
Taco Bell.
That is so perfect and I couldn't agree more. What about you?
I was going to say Walmart, but that's boring.
Oh, Walmart's so gross though.
Yeah, I know.
But when you're on tour, it's kind of like the holy land.
It is kind of
it?
essential because but it's not Walmart. I might have to come back to that. Maybe I'll just blurt something out later on.
Okay.
But like,
And so now the weirdest culture shock of touring in the United States for the first time was?
Everyone having guns, like walking around Walmart and seeing like guns on people's belts.
Yeah.
Like, in the UK, you just don't get that. You
That
know?
still makes me nervous.
Yeah,
I feel you.
And crossing the road for me, because your roads are so wide. Like in the UK, you can just like dart across the road and no one will notice. Here, you're at risk of actually getting run over.
And if you don't cross the lights, you're jaywalking. Right?
Yeah, you're jaywalking.
Yeah,
that's
which is a whole nother issue.
Yeah.
I remember when the first time I went to London too, that was horrific for me too. Like I was so scared to cross the street. Because also it's the opposite way.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Every time I look,
so you don't know which way to look.
I need to look right, look right.
Exactly. So next one here, the album you're currently listening to on repeat is?
Stand Atlantic. They are sick.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, I haven't really heard of them, but yeah, that's what
I haven't heard of them, so I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, Stand Atlantic. They're really, really good. Yeah.
What about you?
I've been listening to. I just listened to "You Want It Darker" by Leonard Cohen on the way here. Like it came out a little while ago, but I just was thinking about it for some reason, and so I listened to that on the way here. I've listened to lots of Suede and lots of Britpop and stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment, I guess.
Nice. And the last one here, the next career goal that you want to achieve is?
I really always wanted to play on Jules Holland, which is a show in the UK where it's like where all like the real musicians play. And I've always wanted to do that, so I'd love to do that.
That'd be a nice milestone, wouldn't it? Yeah.
I think that's a good one. It's a good next goal. And speaking of your career a little bit here, it really has been a bit of a whirlwind for you guys. You know, you've had a lot of success really quickly, and your fans are so intense. Like, you call them a cult for a reason, you know? So what has been the most surreal moment of your career thus far when you look back on it?
It's funny, I was thinking about this last night in the van. I was like looking out the window, I was like, I can't believe how far we've come. I don't think there's like I don't think I could pinpoint a moment, but I just think the whole journey, like when you take a bit of time to reflect on it, that the whole thing is all encompassing, and I was just a bit like, oh, actually, yeah. So I guess for me, like the whole thing as a whole, there's just loads of little bits of the jigsaw that piece together.
Yeah. And I imagine being so busy all the time, it kind of feels like a blur.
Yeah, it does. I mean, all the after a while, all the venues like merge into one, and we're trying to be like, today we were like, is that the venue where this happened or when this happened? And it's like, it all just like, your memory just goes completely.
As long as you know what city you're in, you're doing all right,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
And the latest album is Eternity in Your Arms. The last one that came out a little over a year ago now, I want to say.
Nearly a year.
Almost.
Nearly a year? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a concept album. There's a storyline to it that goes along with previous releases, yeah?
Yeah.
So for anybody who's new to the band, hasn't really heard any of it yet, what are the number one things you want them to know going into the album?
So the record's really about like coming of age and kind of like the dissolution of youth and those things. So it follows the Peter Pan story, which is like their themes through that story. And so I guess the main thing is that even though it's a concept record, you don't need to look at it that way. It's these are songs about our lives, but we use this kind of storytelling mechanism to tell them.
Yeah, and I remember the first time I listened to it, I think it's so fascinating when new music makes you feel nostalgic, because it's like, how is that possible? This just came out, but I'm feeling feelings right now. And I think you guys are one of the few bands that have been able to do that. So what do you think has been like the little secret, the little trick that has made people feel nostalgic about something that's brand new?
I feel like to a degree, like we live in like a culture of nostalgia anyway, where like everything is like we have this 90s throwback at the moment where everyone's doing like kind of 90s stuff, I guess, in the music, and it's difficult because all the artists we're referencing are from when we were younger, I suppose, and where we're like a little older than like our audience. I feel like it's fresh but familiar, perhaps, like the sounds that we're drawing upon. So I don't know, but overall it's just kind of writing songs for yourself first and not for anyone else. And when you do that, like it ends up like being a hodgepodge of all of the things you grew up listening to, I think. And so I guess that's probably why.
Yeah, I could totally see how the influences would play a role in that, for sure. And just sort of reading and diving into the album a little bit more, I noticed you guys were getting compared to a lot of other bands, My Chem, Misfits, Alkaline Trio, and as much as that's really awesome to get those kind of comparisons, you are your own thing, so that can lead to some misconceptions. So what is the number one misconception about the band that you'd like to clear up?
Oh, I always feel with those sorts of things, like it's really funny because like people tell us we sound like Alkaline Trio, like My Chemical Romance, like AFI, and all those bands sound nothing like each other. So I'm always like, oh, okay.
I think the My Chem thing is just people look at us.
Yeah.
Oh, they must sound like My Chem.
Different aspects
Yeah.
of those bands that all just turn into Creeper.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I think probably the biggest misconception is that like we're just moody all the time. I think everyone just thinks that like because of the nature of like our art and how we dress and stuff, that we're just going to be miserable and really serious all the the
We're
goofiest
really
band
not like
ever.
that.
I was gonna say, you have a really good poker face in pictures too, though. Like all the photo shoots, y'all look real serious.
Yeah.
So, but it's pretty clear as soon as I'm in front of you that you guys are a pretty happy band. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And speaking of bands like that, like Alkaline Trio, Misfits, My Chem, those are a lot of bands that had huge success. And I feel like that's something, maybe I'm just a pessimist, but it seems like in punk music and in rock music, it's getting harder to get to that kind of level where you can play arenas and have such a massive impact like that. So what are your thoughts on the current state of the music scene and this genre? And what are you guys doing to even boost it a little bit, maybe?
It's difficult, isn't it, with like modern technology? There's not really a lot of money in things like this anymore. Like not necessarily, it's not like all about the money, but like I don't know, it's definitely harder because of how things have moved on, which obviously in some aspects is a good thing, but in some aspects is a bad thing, I guess. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, you do need money to sustain yourself as a band, for sure. So it does play a role.
I feel like what you're getting is like a good thing and a bad thing. I think that it's really tricky to sustain something like this. So the people who are left doing it still are doing it out of love rather than for a financial gain. And it's really easy to see the business punts through people who care about it. I feel like it's difficult to impact that at all. But like keeping our audience in mind when we're doing things like how we do our shows at home, trying to put our progressive politics into what we're doing. Like that's really really important to us as well. We do it because we love it, regardless of what we get paid. And we just try to be like if we have any sort of platform at all, be a good force for good in that world. Because I feel like for like especially in the UK, like the last kind of almost decade, we had some really bad role models on the top of the industry, and it's kind of cool to see that tide changing a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think because it is a bit of a labor of love, it's important for fans to come out to shows and get the merch and be supportive in the same way. Like if you love a band, show it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Like, it's so cool. Like one of the things I've noticed out here is that kids want us to come out so bad that they really go to the merch. They buy stuff, and that literally is the only way we can do this. So it's out here. They've been very supportive, and I hope that will come back. I hope you will.
Love to see it. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. So stoked for everything you have coming up after this. It's gonna be big. And everybody watching, if you haven't already, you have to check out Creeper. Subscribe for more interviews, and we'll catch you later. Bye.